And so it begins. So it begins. Let's get this party started. Hold on just a minute as I get myself sorted out here. There we go. How are you guys doing? Uh-oh. And so it begins. I guess I left my thing up there. Okay, let's get started. How are you guys doing? Sorry for that mess up there. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I am excited for this one. We're going to be discussing the movie The Patriot today. Yes, it's a recap and review. And basically we're going to discuss it. We're not going to actually watch the movie. If you're thinking that, nope, we're not going to watch the movie. Good audio is loud and clear. Thank you, Landfill. Good to see you in the chat. Lewis, also, thank you. I appreciate you guys showing up for the chat. If you didn't know, I'm not alone. We do have the live chat going on, so don't forget to hit up that live chat and make sure that I'm not feeling lonely, that we got something to chat about. All right, so let me just get myself situated, make sure my phone volume is turned off so we don't get any interruptions. Okay, so The Patriot. Boy, do I have a lot to talk about on this. So I watched this last night and got myself refreshed. It's been a very long time since I've seen this movie. A very, very long time. Yeah. So Landfill says the movie I've never seen but heard of at one point in my life. Okay, well, there is going to be spoilers in this. But what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to kind of just discuss the basics of it first, and then I'm going to go into a basic recap and review of the movie, where we talk about different parts of the movie and all that jazz. So there is going to be spoilers in it. So if you haven't seen it or if you care about spoilers, you might want to check out at some point. I'll warn you when we get there. Your message got deleted. I don't know what was the message. I know I didn't delete it, so I'm not sure. Maybe YouTube's doing something crazy. That is odd that some message would get deleted. Okay, so I'm just going to bring you up to speed on... So, this movie came out in 2000. Yeah, probably YouTube being poop. So, this movie came out in 2000. And my movie-going experience at the time, I'd just seen movies in the theater such as... Last of the Mohicans, not Mohicans. Last of the Mohicans in 1992, 8 years prior to this. And I had seen another excellent movie, Rob Roy, just 5 years prior to seeing this, that were set in that time period, that got me kind of involved in this time period, really juiced up for what we would see in The Patriot. Well... I'm not sure what I felt about The Patriot. It's been so long, so I wanted to go back and revisit it. Lewis says the message was nice. Coonskin cap, where... oh, okay, probably because of that. Yeah, I know. You know what? I was thinking about wearing one of my hats for the stream. Hold on just a minute. We're going to have to do it here. I'll be right back. Haha! So, see, my kids are always wearing my stuff, but here we go. I got one hat now. We can put on the other one. We're a man of many hats here at Fairmere's Rangers, as you can tell. Whoops. This kind of blends in with my gray hair now. I used to be blonde, but now it kind of blends in with the hair. And if we want to go old school, Maybe too old school, though, right? Too old school, huh? Yes. Faramir, the man of many hats. I was a person that loved my hats growing up, and it's gone into my adulthood too. That's why you see me with hats a lot of the time. Faramir, yes, I'm totally Davy Crockett. I used to watch Davy Crockett a lot as a kid back in the 70s. That's going way back. The way back time machine. Yeah, I had my tricorn. Landfill says, looking at those film titles, never really heard of any of them. Yeah, there's a lot of older movies. I pulled this up on IMDb. I just pulled up movies from the 17th century. When I was kind of looking through this last night to get ready for this review, and there's a lot of stuff on here. There's some that's missing though, actually. Like there's a recent series that came out called Versailles. That was a very good series. Just I think about 3 or 4 years ago. Now I don't necessarily like the last season as much, but the first 2 seasons were extremely good. If you haven't seen those, I highly recommend checking them out. It's got the definite Game of Thrones vibe going on in it. But yeah, I think if you do dig the time period and you're into French history, Versailles is a great one to check out. But if you haven't seen, obviously I'm sure most of you have seen Last of the Mohicans. So, just 8 years prior to The Patriot, I'd seen this movie, and it was just breathtakingly visually stunning direction by Michael Mann, and the acting in it was just top-notch superior, and it was just like an emotional roller coaster ride of a movie that was just like you're following along with the characters, and it's let me see, I'll get my hand in the camera. It's like you're just chucking along, and then the movie starts chucking up, and then towards the very end of the movie, it's just like wham, you go down this emotional just drop that just gut wrenches you, and it was amazing. And then came Rob Roy 5 years prior to The Patriot, and this movie, boy, you talk about great acting in it as well. Liam Neeson, Tim Roth, probably one of the greatest on-screen villains. I mean, he was just despicable, but he was very well done villain in the movie Rob Roy. The director, Michael Canton Jones, extremely good in this film, and excellent movie if you haven't seen it. So that's what kind of warmed me up to the time period even more. I always had an interest in this time period, but those movies really kind of ramped up my interest in this time period. So when this movie came out, The Patriot, I was very interested to see it. My first wife, at the time, my first ex-wife at the time, she wasn't so much interested in it. So I went to the movie theater on my own and watched it. And I had very mixed feelings coming out of the theater of what I felt about it. There was definitely some very good action scenes and stuff, but I felt very mixed. And I didn't know at the time, and I didn't understand at the time why I was so mixed on it. And I'm sure you've seen several reviews on YouTube. I'm not going to regurgitate a lot of those reviews, but I am going to discuss some of the things that happened in the movie as we kind of go through the recap and just kind of see what see what I felt about it as I rewatched it. Walt Disney Davy Crockett movie was great. Yes, it was. I definitely enjoyed that. I need to revisit that, as a matter of fact. It's been a long time. I would like to see if that movie holds up, because that was a very big part of my childhood. I love Davy Crockett. You got to watch some movies if you haven't seen those. Landfill. Landfill also says the only thing I watched a bit of was was based roughly at the time was a TV series called Sharp. Yep. Sharp was a great series. I definitely loved those. I haven't seen every episode, though, I must admit to that. Lewis, how you doing, man? So, Lewis says there is a movie called Mohawk, and it's about the British settlers in a fort, and they're later on a siege that happened in the Indian and as the Indians being on the offense, you should watch it. You know, actually, I was just thinking about that movie actually just before this. When I was going through the movies, I was actually looking for that movie. It's a very lesser known movie. Mohawk, I always enjoyed that. So I'm that's amazing that you bring it up because I was just thinking about. Yeah, it was about the French and Indian. I think it actually covers some of the characters in his novel of the Last of the Mohicans too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that was a really good movie, Mohawk. Landfill, I think the last film I watched was Star Wars Rogue One about 3 years ago. Wow, that's a long time ago, man. We need to get you sit in front of a TV or a computer screen and watch some Netflix, my friend. There's some stuff you've been missing. There is definitely some stuff you've been missing. All right, so The Patriot. The Patriot is directed by Roland Emmerich. And, you know, there's all these characters in it that, let me kind of get myself sorted out here. Okay, so Roland Emmerich is the director. Now, you might know him from such things as Godzilla, which was a movie, Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, which was kind of movie. Not so great. But, you know, there is some movies that he did do that I really enjoyed. Stargate. I always kind of enjoyed Stargate. And as far as directing goes, he just did the recent movie Midway. If you happen to have seen that, I must tell you, I was not really a fan of the movie Midway. I didn't feel it just captured the heart of what that battle was. I think the older movie about Midway did better. I did like 10,000 BC that he directed, which was a short 8 years after he directed The Patriot. But that's kind of his resume, if you will, the director. So you kind of know what you're getting into if you've seen some of those movies. Obviously, it stars Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson, fresh off of his role of, what was it, the Chicken Run. Fresh off the movie Chicken Run, comes to do The Patriot. Now, I must say that after, you know, the expectations coming into the theater watching this, you know, wasn't about him playing Chicken Run. It was about him playing Braveheart. So my vision is, going into the theater, I was going to see this amazing American Revolutionary War period piece starring Mel Gibson, and I didn't even realize it was directed by somebody else. I thought it would be directed by Mel Gibson in that just visually stunning movie that he put out with Braveheart. Well, it turned out to be quite different, and it was kind of how shall we say, kind of a shocking experience for me to go in and experience the movie. It was kind of cornball-y. They had this joke about his rocking chair at some point in the movie. You know, it was kind of being lighthearted, but there's here at this point in the movie, he's building this rocking chair. Now we're gonna get into spoilers here, so if you're afraid of spoilers, you might want to check out at this point, because we're gonna get into spoilers. The spoilers are gonna start happening. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the chat here just real quickly. Lewis says the Indians were Iroquois Indians, however you spell it. Yeah, I think you actually got it right. Landfill says, I actually didn't mind Day After Tomorrow. You know, I didn't for one time, but it still got a lot of cheesy stuff in it. And this movie definitely has a lot of cheese, as if it was made in Wisconsin itself. It's like they churned this movie out of Wisconsin, because there's a lot of cheese that goes on here. And like I said, it's this whole rocking chair scene. You know, it's kind of funny. It gets you into the mood of you know, getting set up with the characters and everything. So it's fine. It's fine in itself. But, let's talk about some of the other actors. So you got Mel Gibson in it. You got the lady from Event Horizon, who is the sister of his departed wife. And then you got Heath Ledger, who you might know from the Joker. No, not this Joker. The other Joker. Yeah, that Heath Ledger. So, yeah, we got cornball stuff like this going on in The Patriot. So, yeah. There's that whole thing. Oh, and then we got another actor in here, Adam Baldwin. Obviously, he's one of the Baldwins, but it's just striking to me the resemblance that Adam Baldwin in the movie has to the guy that is the traitor in the movie Red Dawn. I mean, I'm sorry, does he not look like a dead ringer, a relative of the guy who ends up being the traitor that they end up disposing of in the movie Red Dawn? It's just, to me, it like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, this guy, he's bad news. So anyways, kind of funny stuff. But there we go. So yeah, the Joker joking his way through the movie Patriot in this one. Let's see here. Lewis says, LOL, he said, not this Joker. Yeah, I know. It's just the things we say. Landfill, I'm off to get me dinner. Hopefully I won't miss anything major. Okay, well, we will see you in a little bit, Landfill. All right, so The Patriot. It starts off with this cornbally chair scene, and then it goes into him setting up. He's got this family. He's got 7 kids, blah, blah, blah. There's this whole thing going on where he's being called to go to this assembly to vote on whether they're going to raise a militia and start to fight the redcoats, and the presentation of this is okay. I up to this point in the movie, I'm honestly, I'm enjoying everything in it. I'm feeling it. Everything's going pretty cool. There's definitely some cornbally stuff in it. And then, as we're going through, it's just establishing the characters. You find out that Mel Gibson's character, he doesn't necessarily want to go to war. He has a past, and they start bringing it up at the beginning of the movie. He has a past where he has this dark side. It's almost cliche where, he's been this warrior in the past where he did these horrible things and he doesn't want to go back to war. It's all so cliche, right? It's just like, oh, we've been here, done this thing before. There's going to be this event that happens that sets him off where he does go and fight. Obviously, it's just total cliche. So, as we're going through, they get the characters set up. The war starts coming to their home. And, oh, by the way, his son goes and joins the army, or the Continental Army, that is. And anyways, the war comes to their doorstep. And as it does, they start fielding all these wounded soldiers from this battle that happens in their basically in almost their front yard. And the British Redcoats come, and because they've won the field, and they come to where he's servicing all these wounded British Redcoats and American patriots that have gotten wounded. Well, this scene right here, it starts off really cool. The Redcoats all over the place. It shows their, how dominating they are. It shows a very large presence for them. That's all well and done well. But there's a lot of cringy stuff in this part. Very cringy, in my opinion. Watching it just yesterday, watching it again. And a lot of the cringy parts in it, yes, that was in India. They have scouts with them. So yes, you will see that. And so the British had a scout with them, but like I said, they put the guy who is none other than Harry Potter's enemy's father from Harry Potter, obviously, as the guy who basically represents Tarleton. And let me see if I can. There he is. See if I can get his mug on the screen here. Damn it. Anyways, they get the guy who plays what's the guy who is Harry Potter's enemy, the blonde kid. His dad in the movie is basically playing a fake version of Tarleton. Here he is. You know, he's the despicable guy in Harry Potter who kicks the little elf dude around and all that. Well, he plays just as evil and despicable a guy in this movie. So, anyways, they make him out to be awful, and what happens is he ends up shooting one of his kids here, and one of his kids dies. So they take his oldest son prisoner, and they're going to hang him. So he now has the call to action, and he goes into action, and he goes into total beast mode like he was back in the day, being a total one-man army here with this whole British patrol. And it's actually a really good scene. I really enjoyed it. It gets pretty bloody and pretty violent. It was pretty enjoyable. I think the direction of it was done fairly well after we got past the cheese of the getting there, if you will. But once we get past all that cheese, it starts getting fairly good. There's some really good battle scenes, action scenes throughout the movie. Now, it's a pretty long movie also, I will tell you. But it doesn't feel long, ever. I don't ever feel like I want the movie to end, even at this point of the movie. As they're setting up, he actually now joins, and he's got this mission where they've got to hold off the British from being dominant so that they can get their French allies to come in and assist them. But they can't do it if all the British go up north and basically take out Washington's army. So he starts this basic guerrilla warfare that happens throughout most of the movie, and yeah, he does some trickery and you know, all kinds of madness goes on where he's basically being a real trickster to those darn British. Oh, they just hate him. He's such a trickster. That darn Mel Gibson. He is such a... I think he's Benjamin Martin. The Benjamin Martin Mel Gibson dude. He's such a trickster. Yeah. The British just hate him. He's foiling their plans to take over all the colonies again and make them loyalists. Oh, darn him. So anyways. Yeah. It's just a lot of stuff in it that happens is rather cheesy. Like, oh God. Facepalm moments throughout this movie that just take you out of it. They just take you out of the movie, and I'm just like, oh my God. Why in the dear God did they put this in? I mean, couldn't somebody have told Roland Emmerich, what are you thinking? Don't put this in the movie. This is... the people have just watched Braveheart with Mel Gibson. And you put this in here. This is not funny. This is not funny. In Braveheart, you had actual funny stuff in it that was funny, like with the big guy that was his friend, and the whole rock throwing thing in Braveheart. I mean, that was funny because it wasn't just... it wasn't just forced with putting ink on their teeth. Just... what are you thinking, Roland Emmerich? What are you thinking? This is not comedy. This is like... this is as bad as, I would say, Star Wars, the, what was the stupid worst one not Rise of the Jedi. That one was terrible on its own, but it's just as bad as the whatever that one was. That one that came out, the second to last one that came out, that was so terrible with the jokes at the beginning. It really feels like that. It's like he's Roland Emmerich clone or something. So with all the good parts in it, there's some really good action. Like I said, there's some really good beats to this movie, but you have moments like that just pull you out of it. And I think that's what kind of, as I was watching it, kind of made me not feel like the things I felt with when watching stuff like Rob Roy that had come out again 5 years prior, or the movie, obviously, Last of the Mohicans 8 years prior to that, where you always felt like you were in that world. You never felt like you were pulled out of it. And just cornbally jokes like that just pull you out of it. And I mean, and then they try to put emotional scenes in the movie where, as they start having hardships, where the British start figuring out, after they do their little tricks to get stuff, like he steals Cornwallis's dogs. Oh, that Benjamin Martin, he took my 2 Great Danes. Damn him. We must take this Benjamin Martin and get him. So, yes, go get him right away. So, they go off and have these emotional moments where they try to put you in and get to your feels, but you never feel anything. Like the scene when one of his family dies, and then he's so grief stricken that he does something drastic there. I don't we are doing spoilers, so he does something drastic and he shoots himself and kills himself right in front of his men. So what would have been a very emotional moment in any other movie, just you don't feel it as much, even though the character had some interesting parts throughout the movie. You don't have it because of the cheesy moments, like the ink on the teeth, the Joker being a jokester in the movie just detracts from what could have been very emotional. And then we get to this. Heath Ledger, the Joker himself, with the ink on his teeth, he gets married. That's the sign of death. I knew it right when I saw it. Oh, he is fucked now. He is getting married. And his wife. And he gives her this little, Mel Gibson's character, Benjamin Martin, gives his wife this little medallion and says, "This was my wife's. It's the North Star, blah, 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 and it should be yours." And he gives her this medallion, which is going to come back later. Lewis says, "Sorry if I'm not talking, just focusing on you talking about this movie." Oh, yeah. Don't worry. We'll go to the live chat here in a minute. But anyways, as we get going, after he gives her this thing on the North Star... Oops, let me see if I can get to that scene. Almost there. Let me see if I can actually scroll to it. Well, anyways, you can see down here, I'm pointing to it like you can see me pointing to it. But down here, you can see in the little box, he has this moment with his dead wife's sister, where she's all like, I'm not your sister. Oh, yeah. Ha 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 ha. I know. Ha ha. Oh, wait, what? Anyways, they look up and you can see the North Star up in the sky. So his dead wife's looking down on him with all kinds of happiness, knowing that he's going to be banging her sister. Oh, gee, joy for everyone. And then they have all these other emotional moments where he has his daughter who wasn't talking through the whole movie. Now she says something to him, and oh, joy, it's so emotional. But actually, I will say, again, the acting in it, the little girl acting is just freaking tremendous. And Mel Gibson himself, the acting he does in the scene is just top notch. But the problem is, again, you just don't feel it because of all the cliche moments like the wedding. Because since they're getting married, that's like a death sentence in the story. It's like, plot death. it's a plot death moment. So it just kind of pulls you out. Just the clichéness of it. So, yes, the dead wife's sister. He's gonna be getting busy with the dead wife's sister. Well, anyways, if cliche isn't cliche enough, the bad guy is going to come and he is going to confront his son's new wife, his new daughter-in-law, at this church at the town, and finds out that they've been helping, and he gets the traitor, the guy who looks like the guy from the Traitor of Red Dawn, who is a loyalist of a colonist, and has him burn the church with all these colonists in there, and let's fire the church. He says, I thought you were a loyalist. If you're a loyalist, you said you would kill anybody if they didn't support the crown. Well, I'll throw my torch on there, and there it goes. So they kill all the colonists. That enrages them, of course, and sets up the next scene where they go in raging, and of course his son dies in the next scene in a total cliche moment where he is he shot the bad guy, Harry Potter's enemy's dad. He shot him, and you got him. I gotta get a drink now. Oh, he's got him. But yet, he was doing a fake death. The cliche fake death scene. And he goes up to stab him, to kill him, and make sure he's dead. And he gets gutted right through the gullet with a sword, like he was in a Lord of the Rings movie, and the orc just stuck him in the gullet. Ugh! And he's like, oh, Jesus, why didn't I see that coming? It's moments like this that you can't get into it like you would in another movie. And yeah, so he buries his son, and he's thinking about not going and joining the final battle of the movie. And he sees the flag that his son, who has become the seamstress, all through the movie, he's been just little clips of it. He's been making himself into a little seamstress, and he has woven this flag back from being a ragtag hunk of crap and tatters into this wonderful flag that you see Mel Gibson sport onto the battlefield in the final battle. That is actually pretty well done, with the exception of some more cliche moments that pull you right back out of the moments. Right when things start getting good, the action starts getting great. Yeah, Malfoy, that's it. Thank you, sir. Malfoy's dad. So Malfoy's dad, he goes charging in right as the battle's getting good, and he's gonna get that daggum Benjamin Martin, who's been foiling all their plans. And the dastardly villain, he's gonna get in there, and they're gonna have this big fight back and forth where Benjamin Martin, he's about to shoot him with this musket ball that he's made with his dead son's toys, his little metal soldiers that he had that Malfoy's dad shot him dead. So he takes those toys and he makes a little musket ball out of it, and he has it loaded in his pistol, all ready for Malfoy's dad. Malfoy's dad comes in, and he's ready to shoot him, but an explosion goes off behind him, so he shoots him in the shoulder. Oh, dread! Just the irony of it all. Oh, so now, here comes Malfoy's dad, all charging after him with the swords in hand, and Benjamin Martin's got to go after him with his spent musket and his hatchet in hand, and they have this back and forth fight where Mel Gibson gets hacked up like he was in the Swiss cheese factory back home in Wisconsin. But somehow he has the moment where his back's turned to him and all's lost, but the cliche moment where he turns around and gets him. He gets that darn Malfoy's dad after all. So, yeah, here's the backwards, the back and forth fights. It was like it was in one of those Hindi movies where Here it is. He's got his back to him. He sees all the flags waving, blah, blah, blah. It's just so cliche. It's so cliche. Why? Why did you do it? So anyways, those dreaded colonists, they've won the day and took the field. And Cornwallis has got to retreat to Yorktown, and where the French have finally come, those colonists, Benjamin Martin did it. He held them off till the French came. And vive la France, they take and win the battle, winning their freedom. The end. So there it is, guys. The Patriot. Oh, wait. Wait, the movie's not over. The movie's not over. Hold on. Hold on. The movie's not over. We've got a new scene at the end of the movie. He goes back, and his men are rebuilding his house. Oh, they're so nice. You said we rebuild America. We're gonna start with your house, Benjamin Martin. And I can see what Benjamin Martin's probably thinking. Thanks, guys. But this one's like way smaller than the other one was. Yeah. So anyways, The Patriot. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Let's discuss this out in the chat now. I hope you enjoyed that recap of the movie The Patriot. What a gem it was. I can't say it was a bad movie. It was not a bad movie. I did enjoy it. I didn't, through the whole movie, I didn't feel the need to turn it off. I didn't feel bored through the movie. It was an enjoyable experience watching it, but for all the cliche cheeseball moments throughout the movie that really pull you out of it. And that's the problem I have with The Patriot. So yeah, there's my review. So anyways, thank you for the reminded me it was Malfoy. Malfoy's dad. Oh, he was a darn villain in this one. And yeah. If you think moments make you facepalm, then wait till you see the bad guy's face that he got stabbed by the bayonet with. Yeah, oh yeah. When he takes the bayonet, he not only stabs him with the bayonet off a rifle at that moment, he also finds one just happened to be laying on the ground and stabs him right through the neck. Yeah, that part, Lewis, very good. Woo! There's a lot to talk about in this movie, a lot to unpack. So, The Patriot. So, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it was very, very disappointing. It was disappointing in the fact that the expectations were going into it on my first time watching it back in 2000 when it came out. I just watched Braveheart, what was it, 5 years before. Just watched Last of the Mohicans 5 years before. Or 8 years before. I just watched the movie Rob Roy 5 years before that. So we have all these elements coming together that make it build up to be, oh man, this is going to be a great movie. And it just falls flat. It falls flat for all the cheeseball moments and all the goofy stuff. Let me go to the chat. Also, guys, don't forget, I'm not here alone. I am here with the live chat, so let me know what you think. Also, am I wrong in my impressions of the movie? Do you feel the same way? Abram says, after playing ETW, I'm kind of confused at how the militia in this movie makes sense in the practical tactic as a unit. Well, they did use militia in the war, the Minutemen, as you will. I'm not a great historian, so I don't know a lot of the facts behind it, but how they display the tactics in the battle where Cornwallis doesn't have much respect for the militia. So that Benjamin Martin, he's got himself a plan, and he's going to put the militia right smack in the middle of the army because he knows Cornwallis doesn't respect militia, and they're going to punch through the center of their army, ending up getting enveloped and running right into a trap, basically. So, I mean, the tactics are shown and explained, and it's easy to follow what's going on, but it's just not as good as the battles in Braveheart. It's definitely not as it's not as immersive as what you get in Last of the Mohicans. Especially that battle at the middle of Last of the Mohicans, where they're where after they retreat at the fort and they're leaving the fort, and then they get ambushed on the trail. That battle right there had so much passion in it and heart, and the thing that to me that always stands out to me about Last of the Mohicans is in that battle. It's not just the main characters that you only see and see the cost of what's happening. You see some of the minor characters getting taken out in this scene, and you see things like British Redcoat actually makes it out with them. Two of them actually. One of them gets killed in the canoe. Another one makes it to the waterfall scene. And then gets later disposed of there. But you have these scenes like in other movies where nobody makes it out but the main characters. In Last of the Mohicans, you had where things kind of made sense. It's not just going to be the main characters making it out of it alive. But you don't have any of that here. You don't have things that make sense. You have things that go wonky and crazy and straight out of the cheese factory in Wisconsin. So that's my thoughts on the Patriot. It just after the expectations of those other movies coming out, this just feels very cheesy. It is what it is. There's some good parts in it that I really enjoyed. I would say that the depictions of the battle at towards the end is fairly well done until you get to the single one-on-one fight between Benjamin Martin and the Tarleton Malfoy's dad battle. That is when I was like, okay, we didn't have to do this. And see, in Braveheart, you didn't have that. You didn't have that at all. In Braveheart, Mel Gibson's character, he was up in the fray, and things are going on, but he didn't have a particular guy that he was Malfoy's dad that he was against. He was just hacking his way through anybody and everybody, and you know, the main villain was the king in it, which he never got to, you know, face in one-on-one combat. So you didn't have anything unrealistic pulling you out of the reality of the scene. But in the Patriot, that cornball Benjamin Martin and Malfoy's dad battle at the end of the battle just takes it to that cliche moment. And you know what? See, I'll tell you, I watch a lot of history movies, and there was one I watched that was a Hindi movie called Panipat. It was about the Maratha Confederacy. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's on Netflix. And let's see, Panipat, I think it is. Yeah, here it is, Panipat. They have this big battle, and at the end of the movie, and it's like the movie is cool. There's if you're into musical war movies, it's pretty cool. It's actually very colorful. It's a kind of interesting movie. I watched it through the end. There's a lot of cheeseball moments. This is the Indian version of The Patriot, if you ask me. This is the Indian version. So the Patriot is basically Panty Pat. If you don't believe me, watch this movie and you'll see. Because at the end of the movie, this guy goes on this like 25-minute battle where he just doesn't die. He's taking on like 70 guys at once, and it's just slow motion stuff, just like in this. And oh god, it's crazy. It is crazy. So Panty Pat is the Patriot. It's the marathon version of it, if you will. So there's my take on the Patriot. It says, so Cornwallis is much as bad an AI to rush his cav and general unit into the enemy's militia vanguard, so they are easily broken and routed. Exactly right. They tricked old Cornwallis, and they even took his Great Danes. Oh, those tricksters. They took his Great Danes. Oh, so the poor guy, he not only lost the battle, he lost both of his Great Danes, all of his clothes and trinkets too. Enforced, yeah, you missed a lot. If you just joined, you missed a heck of a lot. So I made this where you can go back and review it from the beginning. If you missed it, I won't go back and recover or recap everything because I don't want to be too redundant. But yeah, you can go back and view the stream from the beginning because I have a lot to say about this movie. Dadgummit. Yes, Panty Pat. This is a movie I highly recommend you check out if you did enjoy The Patriot, because it is basically a musical version of The Patriot with Indian actors playing the Maratha Confederacy. So, yeah. It's definitely one to check out. I would say it's highly entertaining. The musical stuff didn't bother me. I actually, it's very visually stunning with all the colors. It's kind of cool. But anyways, yes, The Patriot. The Patriot is straight out of the Wisconsin cheese factory, and it has so many cornball moments that it just pulls you out. What do you guys? Do you think I'm crazy? Or those of you that have watched it, do you feel like I am right in my thinking? Let me know in the chat. I'm not alone. Those of you that seen it. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Yeah, Jason Isaacs. That's old Malfoy's dad right here. He was, he played in the Harry Potter's movies, played in Peter Pan. Let's see what else has he played in. Scoob. As far as older movies, you might know him from. I don't really see a whole lot. Oh, he was actually, who would have thought? He actually was a voice in the video game Total War Napoleon. Napoleon Total War. I wonder if he was a villain in that, because he sure does love playing villains. And Forrest says, yes, indeed, you are correct. Yep. So, if the villainy of Malfoy's dad, he goes on. I wish I knew who what voice he does in Napoleon Total War. That's hilarious. Who would have thought that? Oh my God. That's awesome. That is awesome. Mel Gibson in the movie is just like Steven Seagal. Unbeatable cheese. Yes. It's so true. It's so true. It's almost like what's that old Steven Seagal movie? Hard to Kill. It's like Last of the Mohicans meets Hard to Kill and Panty Pat all mixed into one movie. You hate the film musical genre. I don't know. There are some musicals I can be okay with. But Panty Pat is one that I'm telling you, it's a treasure in its own right. You've just got to watch it. It's got the cheesebally moments, but it doesn't have the expectations that The Patriot had. So you can kind of deal with it because it's just a cheesy movie. You kind of know it because, you know, you got the Indian movies are very, how can we say, I'm sure you've seen the clips on YouTube of the action heroes like doing all these crazy moves like they were Captain America, beating the hell out of these bad guys for pickpocketing a lady or something. Musket Mayhem says Mel Gibson's movies are fueled by anti-English narratives, to be honest. You know, that is definitely a running theme through a lot of his movies. He is definitely one. You know, but the thing is that's one of the interesting things about this movie is he didn't direct it, which when you go in to see it after watching Mel Gibson's career, he had just done Braveheart not long before this. So let's go see what. And so you go into it thinking it's going to be a Mel Gibson style directed movie, because he had just directed. Let's see his directorial movies. So he had directed Braveheart, which was a very brutal and bloody and very kind of spiritual movie about the Scottish movie. But anyways, it's a grittiness to that movie. And then 5 years later, I went into that movie thinking Mel Gibson was directing this movie. So it was a very shocking experience to find out that it was a Roland Emmerich movie with all that cheese in it. He's fine. Mel Gibson hates the British. The Patriot and the Braveheart are two films he stars in. Yeah, but nothing is far greater than the craziness that ensues in the Patriot. I mean, because you got Heath Ledger, the Patriot, that you know from the movie The Joker, right? Yeah. Well, he's definitely the Joker in this movie, guys. He's definitely the Joker with his ink on his teeth. Oh, that Joker. He was perfect for the role of the Joker all along. It's so funny. Oh, the parts in this movie just cackle me. And they just get me right in the cackle bones. Oh, Oh, it's just so cringy. It's so cringy. It's like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I mean, you can't think of a better way to pull somebody out of a scene when doing this. Like I said, there's just too much cliche in it. There's so much cliche. It's just like the whole getting chopped up by the darn Malfoy's dad, and let's, like I said, it's not even that. It's the whole scene where Heath Ledger, he shoots him, and he gets Malfoy's dad right in the shoulder, or you don't even know where he shot him. Sorry, it was dad that shot him in the shoulder. Heath Ledger shoots him, and Malfoy's dad goes down, and he's dead for sure. And Heath Ledger, he pulls out his knife, and he's gonna go gut him just like his dad did earlier in the movie to the bad guys, because he's killed his wife. The dang Malfoy's dad, he's a trash. Can't stand him. So he's gonna go up, and then, he's gonna flip over and stab him right in the gullet with the saber. I mean, come on. I mean, everybody in the audience knows it's coming. It's just so cliche. It's so poorly done, and then you get the oh God, he got me. Oh, he killed my wife and now me. I mean, yeah, you thought you were so badass when you went up there with the knife. I mean, we all knew it was coming. Everybody did. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? I mean, it's just so facepalm, so cringe, so right out of the cheese factory. It's just unbelievable. So anyways, that's my thoughts on The Patriot. I hope you did enjoy this recap and review of The Patriot. I had fun doing it. And just remember, if you're ever in a situation where you're losing and you're on your knees and your back's to the villain, there's usually a bayonet lying on the ground that you can pick up and stab him right through the damn neck. So don't ever feel like you can't win it. America! Yes, you're right, Ma. America! Frick yeah is right. It's something to partake. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't already, check out The Patriot. It is an experience. It is not a unwatchable movie by any means. It is watchable, but prepare yourself for the cringe. And we haven't even discussed at the beginning of the movie. You see that Benjamin Martin has quite a few slaves. Quite a few. And then what happens is when the British come, they're going to free his slaves. Whoa, yay, the slaves are free. But wait, the slaves, I'm sorry, sir, excuse me, we're not slaves, we're freedmen. We're working here on our own accord. Right. We totally buy that one. So, yeah. Nothing we can say about that one, can we? Abram says, and also I want to mention the accuracy of the musketmen in the movie is just like sniper rifles, man, rather than it was not that deadly, right? Yeah, I will say I give it to him. There are parts in the movie where they're having the line battles, and there's people on both sides, British and Americans, more so on the colonist side, where when they're lining up to shoot, they're kind of looking away when they fire. You have some of that. I think I did see one redcoat that had done that as well. But for the most part, the red coats were displayed as a disciplined fighting machine, and those colonists were more of a ragamuffin bunch of guys that had a bunch of scaredy cats trying to fend off the fierce redcoat monster. So, yep. So anyways, that's my recap and review of The Patriot. I hope you did enjoy this stream. It was fun for me. And I appreciate all you guys for joining the stream. It was a lot of fun for me. If you guys would like to see more of this, let me know in the comments below or in the chat. And because I would enjoy doing more of this. Maybe we can have a vote on what movie to do next. And something that is out there for free. You're welcome, Abram. Or I'm sorry, it's Arden. I might even be getting that wrong. But let me know, because I enjoyed doing this. We can maybe do some other ones. There's so much to do, and something that maybe is for free out there on Netflix or HBO Max or services that we can watch without having to purchase it. It would be great. And that way we can do it. Have to catch up on the VOD. I don't know that one. Oh, on the vid. Okay, gotcha. I got what you're saying, Landfill. Everyone says, try Kingdom of Heaven Director's Cut. That is a very good movie, in my opinion. I love kingdom of heaven. You know, and the thing is I'm not, you know, even in this review, I'm not really picking on the historical inaccuracies. Like I said, there's other videos that do that. There's other videos out there that have all the nitpicks about the historical inaccuracies of the movie The Patriot. I'm not really so much worried about that. I'm more worried because I'm not a historian. I want to be put into the time period, to have the look and the feel of that time period and really kind of keep me in there. Hey, Nasty, how you doing, man? Hope you're enjoying the weekend. I haven't seen Gods in General in years. Yes, it's been many a moon since I've watched it. I actually try to watch it. It doesn't hold up as well, I can tell you, because I tried watching it a couple years ago and it was hard to make it through. Thanks for the uploading, mate. Keep on going from Taiwan. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining all the way from there. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll do some more of this. If I'm gonna put up I'm gonna go through and look at some movies and some maybe TV series that are out on Netflix, HBO Max, some of the free service, or not free, but subscription services that you can watch that most of us most likely have. That way you guys can view the movie before I do my recap and review, or TV series, whichever it is. My favorite film, Landfill says, is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That is a really good one. Tommy T, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a dog's age. How you been doing? You been doing all right? Man, it is a long time since I've seen you. Monty Python, the Holy Grail is a great one. But like I said, I would like to do a review at some point on Rob Roy, and Last of the Mohicans is a great one. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I would like to do a recap of the TV series Versailles as well. I mean, there's so many great movies that are set in this time period. I mean, even so, you had another Revolutionary War movie, and it was actually Al Pacino was in it. I think it was, yeah, here it is, Revolution from 1985. It's actually a pretty good movie, if memory serves. It's been many years since I've seen it, though. So, that might be one to watch. I think it's saying it's on Prime Video, so that's good. What do you think of Waterloo, the 1970 version? I love that movie, Musket Mayhem. That is a great movie. The battle scenes are just phenomenal. Now, that's a movie I haven't seen in quite a while. I will tell you, it's probably been a good 15 to 20 years since I last seen Waterloo. But that would be a good one to go back and watch and see if it holds up. That would be a very good one indeed. The Bounty, there's another great one. There's a lot of nudity in that one, though. Not that I mind that. There's a lot of nudity in Versailles as well. Faramir highly recommends Versailles. What was your take on Marco Polo series historically? I haven't seen it, to be honest with you. Marco Polo would be a good one to watch. It's the one on Netflix. I heard a lot of good things about that series. So that's another good one to check out. I will tell you, there's actually a series I watched recently on Netflix. And let's see, I think it's on here. I think it's called Thieves of the Wood, I think is what it's called. I just watched that one. See if it's on here. God, there's so many movies set in that period. Black Sails is one that I know a lot of people have mentioned. I haven't seen Black Sails, but that would be an interesting one to check out. Let's see. It is I'm pretty sure it's called Thieves of the Wood. Yeah, Thieves of the Wood. I watched that, and it would be an interesting one to review. Well, I'll just say that. I don't want to give away too much. But that would be an interesting one to review. It wasn't bad at all. But anyways. Okay, guys, I think I've covered everything here. I appreciate you guys for joining the recap and review of the movie The Patriot. I hope you did enjoy it. If you didn't get to see it all, I do highly recommend you go back and watch it. We had some pretty fun moments throughout the recap and review. So, again, guys, I appreciate you for stopping by. If you do want to see more of this type of content, leave a like on the video and also drop me a comment and let me know what movies or TV series you would like me to cover. I greatly appreciate it, guys. We will see you on the next one.